Hello YouTube, this is William, and today's episode is entitled Property Managers Should Hustle on Their Own Time with Their Own Dime. Now, as a landlord, there's a lot of different people you have to come in contact with: contractors, tenants, and property managers. And one way to deal with property managers is to fire them as soon as they do anything small, any type of theft, any type of damages, anything that's trying, undermine what you're doing, because they can destroy your business in no time. And let me share with you a story of a property manager that just would not quit and trying to rob me. I had properties in Cleveland, Ohio, and this property manager was very good. Collected rent, responded to phone calls promptly, and she would snitch on other tenants if they were causing any damages, so I would know what's going on right away. She was a good property manager, and she also came with another good package, which was the husband, and he was a handyman. And this guy was a great handyman. He would fix anything: furnaces, hot water tank, fridge, stove, do flooring. He would do like electrical, plumbing, gas, anything that you wanted. This guy could build a house and furnish and finish everything inside of the house. So I said, this is a great team I got right here. So, the first 3 months, property manager was doing very well, collecting the rent, no issues, showing all the rooms, quickly filled out the apartments. And then on the 4th month, I noticed that no money was deposited. So I called her and I got the voicemail. So I called the husband and he picks up and he says, "Oh, shoot, I forgot to tell you, Barbara just had a relapse of crack cocaine." I was like, "Oh man, my money is gone. This is crazy. Oh shoot." That's what I was thinking to myself. But the handyman said, "Don't worry, we got all the checks here. When she comes back, she's gonna go ahead and deposit. She hasn't done this in years. It was just a relapse, so that's why you haven't heard anything from her, is because she's in the recovery right now. So she'll come out after 30 days and she'll deposit, and you won't have to worry about anything, William." And I said, he's been doing very well for the last couple of months. I said, okay, because I was about to wild out, man. I had my police report ready. I was ready to go, go wild on them crazy. But he said, hold back, don't go to the police right now. And that was a mistake that I made. As soon as you notice any little bit of theft going on, that is when you should start doing your paper trail, your paperwork. Go to the police. You can file it and just hold on to it. So she comes out, she deposited the check, and I said, okay, this is good. I see the check put in the account. A week later, the bank sends me a letter saying that this check that you wrote is no good. And I said, what do you mean no good? I decided to go to the bank myself to find out what's going on with this check. So I bring the check that was sent back to me in the mail. I went to the teller, booked an appointment with the manager. The manager looks at the check and he says, "Now look at this check. This is a bogus check. You ain't got no watermarks on it. You look at the bottom, there is no number for the account numbers. Look like somebody just printed this off the computer and tried to pass it as a check. And because your account is new, we had to close that account. And we won't even let you open up another account." And I was like, man, this is crazy. I really like this bank, because this bank had a branch everywhere in Buffalo. So I was pretty much screwed. I had to go to a lesser known bank, and I had to travel further just so you can deposit without having to pay, a banking fee to withdraw. So I called back Mark. And then he said, "Don't worry, man. We'll take care of it. You know what? What I'll do to make up for it is I'll work it off. Let me work it off. And, this was a simple mistake, and I'll make sure everything is okay. Let me just work it off." And I said, "Okay, I'll let him work it off because I pay him thousands of dollars anyhow, so I might as well, just let him work it off." So I told all the tenants this time, okay, no more giving rent to the property manager. Now you have to go to the bank yourself and make the deposits for rent. So I said, okay, this is good. If I do it this way, then I won't get screwed. All she can do is just show the room of the apartment, call me for any problems. That should remove her from trying to, steal my money. So a couple months later, I come by and I check up on the properties, and I'm walking in the back and I notice strange people coming in and out of the apartment. So I go inside, check up on some of the rooms and the apartments. Some of them, which in my paperwork were supposed to be vacant, look like they were occupied. So I go to the property manager and she won't answer the door. I know you're in there. So I called the handyman and he says, "Oh, yeah, some people did move in. Didn't she tell you?" I said, "No, she didn't tell me." So now I'm going to those tenants and I'm asking them, did y'all already pay for rent? He said, "Yeah, we paid her rent and she gave us a receipt and we moved in." And I told them, "Oh, man, I'm the landlord and I did not get your rent." So now what I got to do is now I got to go after the property manager. I can't believe this happened again. Called the handyman and said, "Look, you got your girl moving people in, collecting the rent. She paying everybody else, but she ain't paying me." So I told him, it's time for you to go because I'm gonna be doing the police check and I'm gonna be doing my police report and I'm gonna be telling them everything. So if y'all don't want any problems, y'all need to get up out of here. So the property manager, she got mad and she started busting all kinds of stuff when she found out what the handyman told her and that she was exposed and knew what was going on. And the handyman, he was also mad too because he was like, "Man, I'm going to be working for free forever if I stay with this girl." So you know what he did? He moved out. And he moved out with another younger, hotter girl in the same apartment next door. I'm like, "Oh, come on now. I know you didn't do that right in front of your girlfriend to move next door." And that's funny because why go across town when you can just go across the hall to meet your next girl? I said, "Man, you want to get stabbed and you just next door and she knows you moved just next door." I said, you're a dangerous man. You're a dangerous man. You should have just moved out to across town, but you had to go across the hall for some coochie." But that girl that you moved into was a lot hotter now. Come on. She was younger. She was thinner. So he was just using any excuse to get up out of there to leave this woolly mammoth. Because this lady was like 5 feet tall, 500 pounds. And then you got this younger, thinner, hotter. I said, "I ain't mad at you." So, I let him move to the other apartment. Went ahead with evicting this property manager. And from then on, I didn't have any problems. That's what I thought. But a year later, this property manager could not quit. I started seeing some transactions on my account. And this property manager did not care. She just used the banking info as before to make utilities payment. And the thing about utilities payment is that they have your first and last name, the address, and everything. It's not like you bought something off of Amazon and have it sent over there and then have it picked up over there and mailed for. And this one, utility, They know which utility you're paying for. If you're paying for a water bill, the water bill is only for that address. So I don't know why she would even do that. So I did my police report, went to the bank, it got reversed. They knew that I do not own that property. And you know what? Since I was a landlord, I reached out to that landlord that owned that property that was rented to that person. And I told that person the story. And then I also sent her all the receipts of the utilities being paid for her property. And I said I could go to court and just sue you as the landlord and say that this was all for you and all in your favor. And that landlord got her out quick. Started sending me some notarized statement talking about had nothing to do with the tenant. The tenant did this, and I evicted the tenant, and that was it. So sometimes people think that they can get so far, get away, but Buffalo and Cleveland are such small cities, and as a landlord, it's very easy for me to find out who owns what. And when I reached out and touched that landlord and knew what was up, that's when she knew couldn't play around. Because it was either the tenant or I'd be dragging the landlord into court. So what I learned from this lesson is now that all of my tenants, they don't get my banking info. I go through third-party mediators like PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. They only get those three information and email transfers. That's the only information that they get now, all my tenants. If they want to move in, they have to pay in that way. And that really removes all of the nonsense going on. You think that you can give your banking info to people to make deposit for rent. But now, the best thing to do as a landlord is to use these third-party mediators, because these property managers will hustle you, try and get away with anything, move tenants if you're not checking on the property that much. So that's why these property managers, if they want to deal with me, they gotta hustle on their own time with their own dime, and they'll try and play me. So make sure you like, share, subscribe. It is free to do so because Jesus paid it all. Bye-bye.